Hi, what's poppin'? It's your boy Big Rich, Queens, New York City, where we get busy. Some Tuesday morning business. I have a flu. You're gonna have to deal with it, but business has to be taken care of. Ladies and gentlemen, come on in. Wipe your feet on the rug. It's raining this morning. Hang your umbrellas by the door. Throw some smoke in the atmosphere. I'm strictly edibles this week. I got some Loud Monster cookies. Delicious. Edibles. Let's get right into business. This next story coming out of Cosa Nostra News.com from my good friend Ed Scarpo. Rest in peace, Tough Tony. Sources say Elusive Genovese family powerhouse was official. Consiglieri. Longtime Genovese family powerhouse Anthony Tough Tony Federici, who ran a landmark Queens-based Italian restaurant, died last week of natural causes, sources tell Cosa Nostra. While the elusive Federici long claimed he was retired from the position of capo in the nation's most powerful mafia clan, the Genovese crime family sources say Tough Tony, a.k.a. Parkside Tony, was part of the Genovese crime family's formal hierarchy, holding the position of official consigliere at the time of his death. Prior, he'd been acting underboss of the crime family. Federici, who remarkably appeared in several YouTube video interviews about 6 years ago, was the longtime owner of Parkside Restaurant, a popular Italian restaurant located in the heart of Corona, Queens, 15 minutes from my house, may I add, and the food is unbelievable. His parents opened in 1960 under a different name, and despite their incessant denials, Federici was a power in the Genovese crime family for decades and was under the FBI investigation almost the entire time. As for the cause of death, one ever reliable wise guy source told us it was believed of natural causes. Quote, "I seen Federici a couple of months ago at a cardiologist. He was very gaunt, and I just know he had been battling an illness. He and I spoke, but I didn't want to pry. He was a good friend of mine. He knew this life inside and out and was a humble guy, but truly a tough guy who never flaunted it or his position." Just remember that sentence for these guys that never flaunt their power, never make noise with their money, and yet attain all this power and respect and stay on the streets at the same time. He would clean tables with the busboys in his own restaurant. All I can say, he was a good friend and a man's man, unquote. He allegedly came up under Genovese underboss Michael Mickey Dimino Generoso, another longtime Genovese family powerhouse who died in November of 2015 of natural causes. Federici reportedly took control of Mikey Dimino's crew after Dimino died. There's a picture of Tough Tony seated left and Mikey Dimino to his right. Cosa Nostra previously covered those highly unusual video interviews, noting those aware of the allegations that have long hovered around Federici would find them fascinating. Here's an alleged sitting capo in the Genovese crime family showing his face. He looks the part and sounds the part, and he's certainly the real deal. And amazingly enough, he's not alone. In one, reputed Gambino wise guy Joseph Joey No Socks Cinque, who allegedly survived at least one gangland hit attempt, figures prominently. The interviews touch on many things and range from the philosophical to the biographical. In one, Federici says, "There's no order." Absolutely. Years ago there was. Is he referring to law and order? Probably on some level. But from the general context, he seems to be pinning for the old days, when Corona, Queens not only was Italian, but was primarily Calabrian. His parents arrived here from Calabria, he says. Quote, "The whole neighborhood was people from Calabria." His mother and father opened Parkside, originally called the Corona Supper Club. It initially boasted 7 tables, now has 50 plus. Joey No Socks, who was convicted of a felony in 1989 for art theft, was on stage with then-President-elect Donald Trump on New Year's Eve 2017, looking very much like the cat that ate the canary. Reports describe him as a convicted felon with ties to former Gambino boss John Gotti. Joey No Socks, the chairman and CEO of AAHS, details how the Federici family has steadily won the 5-star Diamond Award for many decades. One topic never mentioned is Cosa Nostra, of course. Federici talks about the pigeons he keeps. He doesn't breathe a word about when he was allegedly up to acting boss when Vincent the Chin Gigante faced a major racketeering case. In 1966, his pigeons compelled him to purchase the property on which Parkside rests. Therefore, he has no landlord banging on his head for rent increase. He owns the land, he owns the property, he owns the restaurant. It's business. Rest in peace to Tough Tony, elusive Genovese family powerhouse that operated and moved the way he wanted to because he was humble. There's a certain type of respect you have to have for an individual who owns the restaurant and will clean his own tables with the busboys. You understand? There's something powerful in that humility. And maybe it was that humility and humbleness that kept him from being behind bars. Rest in peace. The restaurant is amazing. If you guys are ever in Queens, go check out the Parkside Restaurant in Corona, Queens, where we get busy. Mob Story, Season 3, Big Rich. Let me know what city you're in. Let me know what city you're smoking on. And we will talk soon. Salute.